Will the God of Thunder and his ragtag team of siblings be able to save Tyr, the God of War, from an awful fate? Well, let's hop into the pages of Immortal Thor issue number 12 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Thor and his brothers and sisters had gone to the In-Between, a strange cosmic realm, where gods are re-educated via cosmic Skinner boxes and nothing is what it seems. They had come here looking for Tyr, their lost sibling, only to realize against all logic he was seemingly in two places at once. The gang decided to split up, with Thor and Angela coming out of a Skinner box only to find themselves under a strange northern sky with planets crashing into each other above their very heads. It's here the group comes face to face not with an enemy but actually a very old friend, Tawaz the Wise, an elder god whom Thor had many dealings with in the past and who we haven't seen for a very, very long time. He also happens to have in his right hand the Tawaz rune, which, in case you didn't know, is the arrow that points up. This was Tyr's rune once long ago, and essentially it's his soul. Which of course naturally begs the question, if Tyr doesn't have a soul right now, then what has exactly crawled into his body? Well, it seems to be the embodiment of oblivion itself, which is pretty bad because even an incredibly powerful super speedster and messenger of the gods like Hermod cannot outrun Oblivion's power. In fact, as the other Norse gods mention, when Hermod is touched by Oblivion itself, he's not only killed, he is actively erased from all creation. Which means no reward in Valhalla or punishment in Hell, he's just simply gone, and the corrupted Tyr wants to not only serve up the same fate to all of his godly siblings, but he also has his eye set on the Yggdrasil, and if Oblivion touches the Tree of Life, well, you don't need to be much of a religious scholar to figure out what's gonna happen next, am I right? Vidar the Giantborn and Hornir the Hunter just narrowly managed to escape corrupted Tyr by making use of Lausa's the baby's Surtur vision with fire so hot and all-encompassing it can stop even a mad god like Tyr, but only for a minute. The only real way the good guys are going to manage to get Tyr back under control is with a little rune magic, but Tawaz has grown quite fond of the rune and isn't going to just give it away unless King Thor is able to beat him in a competition, which is going to be a pretty uphill battle because, as Tawaz explains, while he is now the ancient god of wisdom, he has actually had many names over the years and lived many interesting lives. For you see, before he saw the birth of the ancient giants, before he did battle with Atum, firstborn of Gaia, he had a completely different name. For you see, once long ago, Tawaz was actually named Buri, as in father of Bor, who himself was father of Odin. Yes, that's right, Buri the great All-Father is here and now amongst his many sires. This of course puts King Thor in a rather awkward position because not only is he expected to beat up on a member of his own extended family right now, but it also means a lot of his old tricks simply don't work anymore. Try and hit Buri with Mjolnir doesn't work, he just has a nice conversation with the hammer before sending it back. Thor briefly thinks of using the Odin Force on this guy, but thinks better of it at the last second. If this guy is an elder god of wisdom, then Thor isn't going to be able to win this fight with brawn, he's going to have to use a little bit of brain, and because of that he decides to pose a riddle. What is big and red and eats rocks? Of course, Tawaz, being the god of wisdom, tries his hardest to think of a smart answer. Oh, you must be talking of Surtur, a being of molten rock and fire. No? Well then you must be talking about the sun. Surely, as we were just mentioning, Atem, but no, in reality Thor's answer is less of a smart. What is big, red, and eats rocks? Well, a big red rock eater, of course, which Tawaz finds absolutely hilarious. How did Thor learn this joke? Well, he heard it from his father, of course, who, you guessed it, heard it from his dad, who heard it from his dad. This gamble ends up paying off, and Thor is gifted the rune that he hopes will allow him to get Tyr back under control. Before they depart Buri, though, the Elder God makes some very cryptic comments in the direction of Loki, saying that he knows everything they did and everything they will do. Loki swears on the grave dirt of his father Odin he has no idea what Buri is talking about, only for Baldur to say, hey wait, I thought Dad was cremated. King Thor and the others are able to show up just in the nick of time to save the Hunter and the Giantborn from the corrupted Tyr's wrath. Having his soul return to his body does not look like a comfortable process at all, all, and in fact we get a really great big page spread here where Tyr barfs up the end serpent that was controlling him. Actually, in a nice bit of connective tissue, I'm pretty sure we saw this character back in the previous issue with the In-Betweener and a bunch of Hickman's other big cosmic entities. With that, the day is saved, Tyr is returned, and this Odinson family reunion is finally complete. Hell, even Ullr, the god of doom and probably the biggest black sheep of Thor's family, actually stuck around, and because everyone's feeling a lot closer right now, King Thor even feels brave enough to ask Ullr for a reading, and the answer is not good. The god of doom says that Thor's own personal doom is hanging over his head and will be here before he knows it. And so that was Immortal Thor issue number 12, everybody. Obviously, I'm pretty late to the party on this one, but I'm glad I could actually catch up on it. Overall, I thought this 2-pack of stories was fine. It's certainly nice to see all the different children of Odinson who never get the spotlight actually get to hang out here with Thor, and we get to focus on their weird dysfunctional relationships a little bit. I know I wasn't reading Hickman's God book, which means I had to stop every so often and actually check Wikipedia for answers to questions. And maybe I would have enjoyed this one a little bit more if I did. As it stands right now, Ewing's Immortal Thor run certainly feels like a story with 2 parts. There's the more Earth-based stuff that feels a lot more metatextual, and for my money, just a bit more interesting. Then we have the Asgard stuff, which feels like very classic Thor myth-making, even up to and including dozens of very deep cuts for very real Norse gods who themselves are characters in the greater Marvel pantheon, many of which we haven't seen in like forever, or we're actually seeing them for the very first time. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good, maybe not my favorite, hard to top all that stuff with Roxxon and the Minotaur from an arc ago, but I'm definitely excited to see where the book goes from here. One of the cool things about Al Ewing's Immortal Thor series is you never know where it's going to go and what the story could become, and the fact that it can be anything means that I'm certainly never going to get bored, at least not anytime soon.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way, everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.